Brainiac. Brainiacs. Whoa. Word. Right there. Boom chicka, wow, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday night. Yeah, man, December the 1st. Where the hell did this year go? Well, pretty quick. That's where the hell it went. Tonight is going to be an interesting night. We're going to dive deep into some pretty weird stuff. Some really cool stuff, if you ask me. You get to hear me and Larry. We're gonna quantumly puke statically at a distance upon one another. It's gonna be pretty fun. You guys don't go nowhere while we talk about spooky action at a distance, because that right there is only the beginning. Hang tight, share this broadcast, share this podcast. We're gonna share some really, really interesting things with you that we really, really highly doubt that you have got a complete clue about. No doubt about it. Brainiac, don't go nowhere. Hang tight.
We're in the Matrix.
Boom! Yeah. Let's do this. One of the fastest growing talk shows on the internet. Your show, baby. Welcome aboard the Matrix Minds. One of the most controversial conspiratorial shows on the interweb, the Matrix Minds. And that's right. Buckle up, everybody. Let's go. Paranormal, huh? Conspiracy, huh? Ufology, hidden Egyptology, and anything and everything we can get our hands on. Let's go. Welcome aboard. The Matrix Minds. The Matrix Minds. Your show.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing. Stay in Wonderland. All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing. Stay in Wonderland. All I'm offering is the truth.
Oh, yeah. Guys, let's go over to the brain chat. Let's kind of see what kind of shit we got going on up in here. Wow. This little thing, we're right below me, Brainiacs. You guys want to see this, where it's got the open lines. Here's the thing. Mr. Larry is deep in the mountains, and his internet connection absolutely sucks. So these numbers down below me, I'm not going to have the ability to get them connected with Larry and me until later. I will work on that, but nevertheless, let's go over here and see if we can get Larry on the line, which bring him on in here. Right there he is. Bring your ass down in. There you are, Mr. Larry. What up, buddy?
What's going on?
Can you tell everybody how difficult this was getting your ass up in here?
About an hour, I think we've been in it.
Yeah, something like that. He called the normal studio, and it was really, really funny because I know that Larry's on a targeted list. I know that. A lot of you guys know that Larry's pretty targeted. So whoever is really, really on the back of Larry's line, because here's the kicker. When he called the studio recognized Larry's phone as not just one, but two. I'm like, dude, you got to see this. You've got to see that. I've seen some shit, but I've never seen somebody come into the studio with not just themselves, but their shadow self too. That's pretty fucking cool.
Take a guess, and I'm gonna guess that it's probably part of the equipment that Tennessee stole from me, which would include a laptop that was brand new. But I digress.
Larry always digresses.
They're probably using my cell phone or using my laptop in the background over there.
Well,
anyway,
we're going to talk tonight about the things that you and I usually talk about alone. Because some of them may get it, but until you shared a video with me, and again, I've seen snippets of that video in segments, right? I've seen like little, so somebody put the video together. I don't know who, but the video that Larry and I are going to share with you tonight is really, really, really deep, and I don't even really know how to describe it, other than it will fundamentally show you what your world is, as well as what your world is not, at a quantum physics level.
I would suggest that's why I sent you those few links together, because if you share the link you're talking about, like the secrets and all that's exposed, they did a really great job on that, putting that together. But there's also the one with the ship out of Israel, and I think you ought to show that, because it shows a lineage of what these technologies are capable of doing. And I always like to throw it in there. Once you watch this, I want you to ask yourselves, if they have the capabilities of doing these things, why is there such a thing as missing children, POWs, and unsolved crimes? Go ahead.
Right. There shouldn't be, because think about this. You see how Larry's phone is locking up and shit? We just watched and heard NASA upgrade a satellite that was 46 years in space travel, and yet this dude below me can't even grab a fucking full bar. Are you kidding me? And we all go through this rigmarole trying to hey, can you hear me now? Hey, can you hear me now? When the military, the governments have got the technology to upgrade satellites at God only knows how fast it's going. With laser.
Yeah.
With laser technology, it's unbelievable. And yet you and I are like, you and I are like, foraging for food, and we're like, we've got people starving, and we know some pretty bright, like you just said, people that are lost, or I'm sorry, missing. Shouldn't be anybody missing. After you watch what we are going to share with you, you'll know. You'll absolutely know.
Show them the one about the university in Florida also, and what that university's professors teach in their classes. And once you put all this together, you'll understand why I'm so pissed off about all this. But go ahead. I don't mean to.
It's all good.
It's a puzzle. We're all trying to put the puzzle together. I'm just trying to, hey, man, look. But once you realize it, you can't unsee it, and that's the most important thing to me. They can drop a plane on my head right fucking now, and I don't care. I'm going to keep telling you all the truth. So, enjoy. You'll like this video.
Don't go anywhere, Brainiac. Indeed, you will have a blast. And welcome to the Matrix of Minds, my friends.
The film you're about to see has no characters, it has no people. It is a film to describe to you and explain visually the effect of cymatic frequencies on texture, structure, water, oil. If you spare a little of your imagination as you watch this film as it runs, you will see many things that answer many questions. You will see living forms, living amoeba, almost animal-like creatures. You will see continents being formed, the Earth itself coming into existence. You can see all this and watch it before your eyes. Everything owes its existence solely and completely to sound. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. We are told that this is how the worlds began and how creation took shape. If we put that into the modern idiom and say that into the great voids of space came a sound and matter took shape. Please watch carefully.
Dr. Peter Guy Manners laid the foundation. Now, we delve even deeper. The question is, are you ready to uncover the truths that have been meticulously concealed for centuries? Frequency and vibration, concepts long studied, with their sheer power archived in thousands of classified documents. The CIA, amongst other agencies, has detailed the immense capabilities of these forces. Their potential to induce earthquakes isn't merely a conspiracy theory. It's a documented reality. Numerous patents reveal the potential to influence weather patterns, hinting at the capacity to create rain and even hurricanes. The military's clandestine involvement in this domain suggests the gravity of its implications. The secrecy, the layers of obfuscation, all point to something profound. Consider this: the Wi-Fi signals permeating our environment are invisible forces we've come to rely upon. It's there, always present, allowing us to connect, communicate, and navigate our digital world. Similarly, the television, a staple of modern living, functions through electronic beams scanning rapidly back and forth, translating signals into images and sounds. This is the palpable power of frequency, present in our everyday lives, often taken for granted. Yet, in an era of incessant notifications and relentless distractions, our attention spans wane. We stand at the brink of revelations about sonic sorcery, yet risk being pulled away by a mere ping on our devices. The Illuminati, that shadowy ensemble, is believed to possess arcane knowledge of these frequencies, using them as instruments of control, influence, and dominion. There's a silent battle, an ongoing hunt for specific powerful frequencies that can reshape the very fabric of society and reality. If we falter, if our attention wavers, we may lose more than just a piece of information. We might lose an entire battle in a war we didn't even know we were a part of. It's a battle for knowledge, for power, and for the future of our world. So, I urge you, as we venture deeper into this world of hidden harmonies and clandestine chords, to remain vigilant. Understand the urgency. These aren't mere sounds or vibrations. These are the threads weaving the tapestry of our reality. Guard your focus, for in it lies the key to unlocking secrets that could define the course of our future. As we pull back the layers of secrecy, deception, and sonic sorcery, brace yourselves for truths that might just redefine everything you thought you knew. The quantum realm has often been likened to a vast, unfathomable ocean where the waves and particles dance in a choreography so intricate it defies classical understanding. But what if the choreography itself was not just a dance of probability, but was set to a precise vibrational score? To grasp this, consider the phenomenon of quantum entanglement. Two particles become interconnected in such a way that the state of one instantaneously affects the state of the other, no matter the distance between them. Preliminary studies from undisclosed research centers have found peculiar oscillations in entangled particles, hinting at a possible frequency that underpins this connection. Whispered figures suggest these oscillations may resonate at around 2.3 terahertz. Curiously, this frequency finds echoes in ancient Vedic texts that speak of Akasha, or the ethereal fabric connecting all existence. Then, there's superposition, where quantum particles exist in all possible states simultaneously until observed. But could these states be influenced by external frequencies? Recent experiments in shielded underground labs, away from the public eye, have found that specific resonances around 260 gigahertz can momentarily stabilize the superposition of certain particles, making them momentarily observable without collapsing. There's an obscure allegory in Sufi traditions that discusses a divine sound stabilizing the essence of being. Could this be an early allusion to the principles of superposition? Beyond these phenomena, there's the mystery of quantum tunneling, where particles seem to teleport through barriers. Recent classified reports suggest that when barriers are exposed to a frequency near 5.8 terahertz, the likelihood of tunneling increases exponentially. Dive into ancient Tibetan scripts, and one might encounter references to sound-enhanced practices allowing monks to pass through solid matter, an exaggeration or an early grasp of quantum principles. The concept of quantum harmonics is emerging from the depths of hidden research. Drawing from guarded manuscripts, it appears that the Chinese I Ching's hexagrams might be symbolic representations of particular quantum states, each resonating at specific frequencies ranging from 400 gigahertz and 3 terahertz. In exploring these vibrational codes, one can't help but sense we're on the precipice of a deeper understanding of the universe. How might our worldview shift if we accept that every quantum interaction is part of an orchestrated symphony? And what if, by tuning into these frequencies, we can glimpse the concealed melodies that have, for eons, directed the dance of existence? It's an established fact that DNA, the very blueprint of life, is influenced by various factors, from radiation to chemicals. However, a growing body of underground research suggests that there's an unseen influencer, an auditory element, sound waves. Delving deep into molecular biology, one uncovers that our DNA isn't just a passive string of information. It's dynamic, responding to its environment in ways that are still being explored. It has long been believed in esoteric circles that certain segments of our DNA, often termed junk by mainstream science, are not useless at all. Instead, these segments may hold dormant potentials, awaiting the right trigger for activation. Enter the clandestine studies on specific frequencies, such as the 528 Hz, long heralded in ancient traditions as the frequency of life. When directed at living organisms, it's been observed to promote repair at the cellular level. Some hidden research documents, sourced from undisclosed labs, suggest that this frequency might play a role in the awakening of certain dormant genetic strands. Yet, 528 Hz is just a start. There's 612 Hz, a frequency less discussed and arguably more suppressed. Initial tests have indicated that it might interface directly with the human genome, subtly altering genetic expressions. And then there's the 741 Hz, which, in some hushed corners of the scientific community, is known as the intuitive enhancer. Experiments have shown that prolonged exposure can stimulate areas of the brain related to intuition and foresight. What's even more intriguing is the concept of harmonics. It's not just these primary frequencies that influence DNA, but also their harmonics, the frequencies that ripple out as secondary and tertiary effects. It's akin to dropping a pebble into a pond. The initial splash is the primary frequency, but the ripples, reaching far and wide, are just as important. But the burning question is, why is such information suppressed or tucked away in the annals of covert research? Is there a fear of what might happen should humanity access and harness its full genetic potential? Some suggest that the unlocking of these DNA segments could lead to abilities or perceptions long thought to be the stuff of legend, heightened consciousness, telepathy, or even innate healing capabilities. While gold fever drove many to the far reaches of the earth, a select circle of alchemists focused on a more clandestine obsession, the pursuit of forbidden frequencies, tones capable of unlocking the very essence of matter. Initiates in these esoteric arts whispered of a primordial frequency, reverberating at precisely 44.6 Hz. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, concealed within chambers still off-limits to modern archaeologists, seem to reference this exact frequency. Translations speak of the sound that shapes, hinting at a vibrational key which, when struck, could reorder the atomic dance. Amid the ruins of Alexandria's library, there's an oft-overlooked manuscript known only to a tight-lipped cadre. This text, the Audiomancer Codex, proposes a series of harmonics built upon the foundational 44.6 Hz. The codex suggests that when these harmonics are layered in exact sequences, base metals like lead can be made to oscillate in a manner that mimics the atomic signature of gold. In essence, a sonic philosopher's stone. The East was not to be outdone. In the heart of Himalayas lies an ancient monastery, home to scrolls that detail vibrational rituals. Monks chant in precise tones, hitting 137.5 Hz, believed to resonate with the atomic heartbeat of Mercury. With focused intention and years of practice, they describe a fleeting but transformative shimmer within the metal, indicating a momentary shift into silver. Modern anomalies, too, bear witness to this oral alchemy. In a remote Russian lab in 1997, an experiment was purportedly conducted in absolute secrecy. Scientists exposed a bismuth sample to an intricate symphony of frequencies, crescendoing at 92.4 Hz. The bismuth's atomic structure exhibited inexplicable disturbances, displaying properties of platinum for fractions of a second. Yet, the most tightly held secrets rests with the Cymatic Guild, an organization that operates in the shadows. They are rumored to possess a tonal matrix, a grid that maps out the precise frequencies for every element on the periodic table. When paired with the elusive 44.6 Hz, the Guild claims the ability to influence atomic cohesion and effectively rewrite elemental identities. However, with power comes peril. Unconfirmed reports suggest that uncontrolled exposure to these frequencies has led to unexpected and often catastrophic results. From the spontaneous combustion of materials to the generation of miniature black holes, the stakes of this auditory art are undeniably high. As science and secrecy entwine, one must ask, are these the audio keys to a new age of abundance? Or forbidden frequencies that could unravel the fabric of existence itself? Beyond the familiar blue expanse of our skies lie the vast, enigmatic stretches of space, teeming with phenomena that challenge human comprehension. One such mystique surrounds the elusive frequencies emitted by cosmic entities, frequencies that have tantalized researchers for decades. The first of these frequencies are the whispers of black holes. Contrary to popular belief, black holes are not entirely silent. Though they swallow light, they sing in gravitational waves. Recent observations pinpointed one such black hole emitting a frequency of 32 Hz. Delving into ancient scriptures, this frequency corresponds eerily to accounts of the Sumerian god Enki, described as the deity of water. Could these frequencies, then, be an echo of primordial tales and deities? Pulsars, on the other hand, operate as cosmic lighthouses. These rapidly spinning neutron stars release beams of radiation that can be converted into sound. One particular pulsar, PSR B0329 plus 54, has been found to emit frequencies at 1.4 GHz. Ancient scholars, in their cryptic manuscripts, speak of star-based rhythms corresponding to the pulse of life on Earth. Is there a connection between these pulsar frequencies and terrestrial vitality? Interstellar gas clouds, often seen as the mere canvases for starry masterpieces, hide a sonic secret of their own. These clouds, composed of dust and various gases, resonate with low-frequency hums. The Orion Nebula, one of the most studied, has been found to produce tones at around 1420 MHz. A frequency closely related to the hydrogen line, which is often associated in arcane texts with the element's primordial importance in alchemical traditions. Even cosmic winds, streams of charged particles released from stars, carry their symphony. Our sun showers Earth with solar wind frequencies around 500 kilohertz. Interestingly, some buried texts from the Ming Dynasty claim that certain meditation techniques align with this exact frequency, leading practitioners to profound revelations. The possibility arises, were ancient cultures attuning themselves to the voice of the sun? While these celestial tones present a compelling avenue of research, hidden knowledge hints at more than just the identification of these frequencies. Gnostic texts and alchemical manuscripts allude to the harmonization of these celestial sounds with human consciousness. The suggestion is not just to listen, but to resonate. In the vast tapestry of human history, sound has been a profound tool, a medium for communication, a vessel for emotion, and even, as some sources suggest, a key to other realities. The concept of stargates, portals to different dimensions or states of consciousness, often evokes images of high-tech machinery or arcane rituals. But what if the key to unlocking these doorways lay in the realm of the audible? What if sound frequencies, specifically honed, could open gates to the unknown? Within the guarded vaults of ancient traditions, there are allusions to such sonic portals. Egyptian hieroglyphics, for instance, depict ceremonies where massive tuning forks were struck in sequence, producing a frequency said to be 111 Hz. According to clandestine interpretations, these frequencies weren't for mere ritual or entertainment. They were to open doorways to the Duat, or the netherworld. Similarly, in Mayan lore, specific drum rhythms, producing resonances around 214 Hz, were believed to allow priests to communicate with deities from other planes. Tibet, with its spiritually charged atmosphere, houses one of the most enigmatic traditions, the chanting of monks. When they intone their deep, resonant chants, they produce a frequency averaging 136.1 Hz. It's referred to as the frequency of Om, or cosmic unity. Those exposed to this sound in the right conditions have reported out-of-body experiences, feeling as if they've been momentarily transported to a different realm. However, understanding these sonic stargates is not just about the base frequencies. It's about the harmonics and the interplay between multiple sound sources. Consider the whisper tales from India, where the confluence of sitar, tabla, and voice in certain ragas, said to produce a combined resonance of 417 Hz, can induce trance states where listeners claim to perceive other realities. As we traverse from culture to culture, the question inevitably arises: is there a universal master frequency that acts as the ultimate stargate? Some underground researchers hint at 963 Hz. This frequency, seldom discussed in mainstream circles, is often termed the God frequency. Experiments with it have yielded puzzling results, from heightened intuition to vivid dreams of other worlds. Infrasound occupies a unique realm in the auditory spectrum, residing just below the threshold of human perception. Despite its invisibility to our ears, its effects are far from inconspicuous. These frequencies, typically falling below 20 Hz, can incite a myriad of reactions, from unease to awe, often being linked to paranormal experiences. Historical documents, obscured by time and secrecy, hint at ancient civilizations understanding the power of these silent tones. Whispered accounts from the underground corridors of Egyptian pyramids speak of chambers where infrasound frequencies of 18.98 Hz resonated, echoing the same frequency as the Fayum oasis's winds. Those who ventured into these chambers often reported feelings of unease or of being watched, attributing these sensations to gods or spirits. Shifting from the sands of Egypt to the stone circles of the British Isles, Stonehenge, a marvel that still puzzles modern scientists, is believed by some esoteric scholars to act as a natural infrasound generator. During specific celestial alignments, with winds blowing from the right direction, frequencies around 17 Hz are said to emanate from its core. Legends abound of mystics and druids experiencing visions during these times. But infrasound's reach extends beyond ancient wonders. Modern encounters with the paranormal, apparitions, cold spots, and unexplained dread could be tied to these sub-audible frequencies. Some scientists postulate that infrasound at around 19 Hz can cause the human eye to resonate, leading to visual distortions or hallucinations, providing a potential natural explanation for ghostly sightings. Yet, nature isn't the only manipulator of infrasound. Classified experiments in the 20th century saw governments and secret societies delving into its potential applications. The Moscow signal, for instance, was a rumored infrasound frequency of 9.75 Hz, said to be directed at the US Embassy in Moscow during the Cold War. Staff working there reported chronic unease and fatigue, leading to speculations of it being an infrasonic weapon. Similarly, hushed stories revolve around societies using infrasound in initiation rites. Frequencies around 12 Hz, when sustained, can produce feelings of fear and foreboding, testing initiates' resolve and mental fortitude. In today's age, the potential of infrasound remains a territory of intrigue. While skeptics dismiss its effects as mere science, the line between the physical and the paranormal blurs, raising questions about our very perceptions of reality. Could these frequencies be doorways, not to other realms, but to uncharted territories of the human psyche? The silent tones continue to resonate, echoing mysteries that have endured through the annals of time. Amid the tumultuous chorus of our universe, certain frequencies stand out, not because of their volume, but due to their sheer inexplicability. A puzzling 58.2 Hz signal, for instance, has been intercepted intermittently by high-sensitivity receivers worldwide, defying explanation and refusing to fit into known terrestrial or cosmic profiles. Historically, the ancient city of Teotihuacan holds a tantalizing clue. Deep within the Sun Pyramid, an enigmatic chamber known as the Resonance Room was discovered. This room appears to be sonically insulated, with walls designed to focus on a narrow frequency band. Archaeologists detected traces of oscillation at a precise 58.2 Hz within, identical to the modern-day signals. Did ancient civilizations somehow tap into these otherworldly sound waves, possibly receiving knowledge or messages? Another intriguing piece in this interdimensional puzzle emerges from the eerie desolation of Siberia's taiga. Locals speak of the singing trees, a grove where, on certain nights, ghostly harmonics float on the wind, centering around an oscillation of 113 Hz. Elders believe these to be songs from another realm, a dimension layered atop our own, but perceptible only through its aural fingerprint. Modern technology, too, has had its encounters with these mysterious sound waves. The clandestine HARP project, while publicly known as an ionospheric research program, reportedly detected a series of anomalous transmissions. These weren't the usual patterns one would expect from cosmic bodies or earthly sources. Instead, they ebbed and flowed, forming what some analysts believe to be a form of structured communication, dominated by a piercing 79.3 Hz. These signals, when visualized, form patterns eerily reminiscent of cymatic shapes seen in sacred geometry. Radio astronomers at the SETI Institute faced a conundrum when their deep space arrays locked onto a frequency at 145.7 Hz, emanating from the interstellar void. This was not a pulsar or a star's dying gasp, but a continuous, modulated hum. The sequence seemed random, but certain repetitions in the signal hint at the possibility of an encoded message from a dimension brushing up against our own. However, perhaps the most chilling instance remains the phenomenon known as the Void Whisperers. Pilots flying over the Bermuda Triangle have reported hearing, amid the usual cockpit static, haunting melodies centered around 40.5 Hz. Some argue this might be interference, while others, more daring, speculate about the triangle being a thin spot between dimensions, allowing fleeting sonic interactions. The evidence, scattered across history and geography, poses tantalizing questions. Are these mere quirks of nature, or genuine sonic artifacts from dimensions beyond our ken? What secrets, warnings, or revelations do they bring? Only the frequencies know, and they're not telling, at least not yet. Throughout history, cryptic texts and guarded oral traditions have hinted at an undercurrent that binds every atom, every star, and every breath of life into a singular tapestry. This clandestine knowledge speaks not of mere energy or matter, but suggests an audacious proposal, a symphony of frequencies that interlace all of existence. In a confidential gathering in 1973, an elite group of sonic researchers convened in a secluded monastery in the Himalayas. Their objective was to decipher an ancient parchment, the Svaranka Codex, detailing harmonics that resonate across multiple planes of existence. It described frequencies, like the 432 Hz, long considered by secret societies as the cosmic pitch, or the natural frequency of the universe. Why 432 Hz? Ancient instruments discovered in Mesopotamian ruins were found to be tuned precisely to this frequency, suggesting a universal standard of resonance. The codex also depicted visual representations akin to cymatic patterns. Cymatics, the study of visible sound, has shown that at 528 Hz, certain geometric patterns form, often akin to what sacred geometry denotes as the seed of life. This was not mere coincidence. The implication was clear. At specific frequencies, sound was not just sound, it became a bridge to visual, tangible, and perhaps interdimensional phenomena. But here's where it gets even more riveting. Advanced quantum theories now postulate the existence of a holographic universe. Every part contains the whole, and if the universe itself is a hologram, could these frequencies be the laser light necessary to interpret this grand image? Enter the ecotome device, a clandestine apparatus rumored to be developed by an unnamed scientist sought to project the universe's holographic blueprint by focusing on these forbidden frequencies. Preliminary experiments using the device, particularly at 963 Hz, reportedly rendered visual spectacles of vast cosmic networks resembling the synapses in our brain. This led some to hypothesize a macro-micro connection, as above, so below. Then there's the Rezona manuscript of 1592, which remained untranslated for centuries due to its linguistic obscurity. When finally deciphered, it spoke of vibrations that danced to the tune of creation, and how certain tonal alignments, like 741 Hz, could dispel the veils between worlds. In tracing these auditory breadcrumbs, we're led to ask, are we, and everything around us, merely notes in a grand cosmic opus? And if so, by understanding and perhaps manipulating these frequencies, could we gain a clearer picture of our role in this vast, resonant blueprint? To fathom these revelations is to peek beyond the universe's curtains, to hear its heartbeat, and to wonder about the symphony that plays in the spaces between. There's an often whispered belief among the esoteric circles that the universe, in its vastness, is not just a canvas of celestial bodies and expansive voids, but is an intricate composition of harmonies. These aren't merely sounds, but vibrations that form the skeletal framework of existence itself. In the ruins of Göbekli Tepe, an archaeological site older than Stonehenge, researchers stumbled upon artifacts suggesting an advanced knowledge of sound. These artifacts, when struck, emitted a frequency precisely at 528 Hz, often referred to in occult circles as the DNA repair frequency. The sacred sound is believed to resonate with the very building blocks of life, restoring balance and harmony. Delving deeper into history, the Sumerians spoke of the Anunnaki, who were said to have communicated using a series of complex frequencies. Clay tablets, still only partially deciphered, suggest that these beings mastered a sonic language. One frequency repeatedly mentioned is 417 Hz, a tone believed to facilitate change and transformation. But the mysteries aren't only in ancient relics. In modern times, the elusive Project Resonare, which vanished from mainstream scientific discourse, reportedly probed the melodic patterns emitted by supermassive black holes. Their findings were groundbreaking. Not only did these cosmic giants produce frequencies, including the haunting 639 Hz, but these sounds, when replicated, had profound effects on the human psyche, invoking deep states of meditation and introspection. The work of Dr. Elena Seranova, though shrouded in secrecy, is worth noting. In her concealed labs in Siberia, she reportedly uncovered the universal chord, a sequence of frequencies 396 Hz, 741 Hz, 852 Hz that, when played in unison, aligned perfectly with the vibrational patterns of the cosmos. Some speculate this chord has the potential to unlock the universe's deepest secrets, from the nature of dark matter to the realms beyond our perceivable dimensions. Furthermore, the Oral Archives of Alexandria, a hidden chamber only recently spoken about, houses what are said to be the sounds of celestial events from eons past. One recording, allegedly the echo from the Big Bang itself, is centered around 963 Hz, known as the frequency of the gods. It is said that those who listen to it experience a profound connection to the cosmos. Understanding the universe as a composition is to perceive its design in an entirely new light. Every planet, star, and galaxy might be playing its part in a grand interstellar symphony. And as we unravel the notes, frequencies, and harmonies, we inch closer to comprehending our role in this cosmic concert. The melodies of the universe are not just to be listened to, they are clues waiting to be deciphered. In every age, there are gateways to power, methods and tools whispered about in dark corners, the touchstones of those who pulled the strings from the shadows. Sonic sorcery is one such force, and its potential to manipulate the human mind remains one of the most closely guarded secrets of the occult elite. The ancient temples of Egypt were not just places of worship. Beneath the facades of stone and deity, a more sinister ritual took place. The Hierophants, well versed in the art of sound, would employ a series of chants and vibrations, specifically at 432 Hz, a frequency purported to resonate with the human brain's alpha waves, inducing heightened states of consciousness and suggestibility. Fast forward to the Cold War era, and buried in the annals of classified documents lies the Project Echolalia. Its intent? To use sound as a psychological weapon. While many frequencies were experimented with, one stood out: 784 Hz. Exposure led to a range of effects, from auditory hallucinations to heightened anxiety. The project, though eventually discontinued, left an indelible mark on the understanding of sound's manipulative capacities. The Illuminati, that oft-cited clandestine order, has been rumored to harness the power of certain frequencies to maintain their influence. An encrypted manuscript discovered in a Viennese antique shop spoke of the Octave of Obedience, a sequence of 8 frequencies, the central one being 528 Hz, believed to provoke loyalty and subservience. But it's not only about mental control. On a subtler level, sonic sorcery weaves its way into our daily lives, influencing our moods, choices, and even health. Modern urban legends tell tales of certain retail chains using specific background frequencies, around 659 Hz, to encourage shoppers to make impulsive purchases. Yet, with all tools of power, there's a dual potential, for benefit and for harm. Sound therapy, binaural beats, and healing chants are all drawn from the same well of knowledge, offering therapeutic effects. The frequencies of 396 Hz for liberation from fear and guilt, or 741 Hz for solving problems and expressions, have provided solace to many. But herein lies the crux. Knowledge without understanding is a perilous weapon. The dance of frequencies and their resonance with our very being is a potent force. In the wrong hands, it's a siren song leading us to rocky shores. Yet, understood and respected, it's a symphony of liberation and enlightenment. As we stand on the cusp of further unearthing these sonic mysteries, we must remember that the song, while enchanting, can also ensnare. The power of sound is not just in the hearing, but in the knowing. As we close this chapter of discovery, it's imperative that we pause and reflect upon the vastness and intricacy of the universe we are attempting to decode. Through the sounds, frequencies, and vibrations, we've traversed realms both familiar and unknown, diving deep into the unseen mysteries that shape our existence. Each chapter, each revelation, has only further solidified the understanding that there is a grand designer behind all these complexities: God. It's easy to be consumed by our thirst for knowledge and understanding, but in the face of such immense beauty and precision, it's evident that there is a masterful hand at play. We strive to unravel the secrets, to grasp the ungraspable, and while we have made strides, perhaps there are aspects of his designs that are simply beyond our mortal comprehension. In our quest for understanding, it's essential to acknowledge the source of it all. Just as a symphony would be nothing without its composer, the harmonious dance of frequencies and energies in the universe would be nothing without its creator. We've explored the intricacies of sonic sorcery, delved into hidden realms, and sought out ancient secrets, but at the end of the day, we're merely scratching the surface of God's profound tapestry. To each one of you who embarked on this journey with us, who chose to remain steadfast amidst the depths of these truths, we offer our heartfelt gratitude. Your curiosity, your open-mindedness, and your hunger for truth have made this exploration all the more meaningful. But as we conclude, remember that while we seek answers, while we push the boundaries of understanding, it's crucial to remain humble before the vastness of God's universe. For in our pursuit of knowledge, it becomes ever clearer that we are but a small part of His grand design. And perhaps some mysteries are meant to be just that, a testament to the unfathomable greatness of the divine. Thank you for staying with us till the end, for journeying through the echoes of time and space.
Alrighty then, everybody. That right there, my friends, should give you kind of a grasp of our world in which we don't see. So whenever you hear me and Larry talking, or Larry going off on a tangent and being pissed off because there's these things, or there's these badass machines on this planet that are controlling, or let's just say speculation, that has the ability, probability, assumption, the word assumption, ass out of you and me, all right? Larry, this video that we just shared with everybody, I don't even know where to begin to like make it a little easier to understand.
That's just a freckle on the body of things that should be shown like that. That was what, 30 minutes, and that's just barely a speck. It's just a scuff on the surface of things when you start putting all this stuff together. Just to reiterate, your consciousness is basically energy fields, right? So if our entire atmosphere is an ocean of Wi-Fi signals and radio waves, pollution and toxic this and that, and experimentations of whatever. Like we were saying, once you get into this, it really makes you irritable.
It does.
But the thing is again, if they're capable of doing these things, and I'd like for you to show them the thing about the chimera, how the women, first off, look up not you guys, but later on, you guys look up why women are stripy and just hit send. It's a trip. Like women, their skin have a calico stripe pattern to it, and I don't mean stretch marks. It's regular. But the chimera epigenetic spectrums is all mapped. It's just fascinating.
I'm going to open up another screen here and drag it over here real quick.
The
That
figure
way-
out that basically when they've mapped your shadow without your consent, to me that is just an ultimate aspect of violations against free will and basic humanity of the creatures. In a sense, everything is just being manipulated without your consent. Like they've mapped out your X point particles, you know what I mean, and that's all manipulatable. Who knows what machines out there are just sending mind control or mind mapping platforms around here, and nobody has the wiser of it. You know, it's infuriating.
After watching that video, after listening to the explanation, they should absolutely have a grasp that free will is it real, or at this point do we know that it is nothing more than an illusion?
Right. With that, I'm going to jump off of that with the next topic you're probably going to want to get into, and I'd like for you to show them the information about the Gen 6 through 10 crafts that have consciousness malleable skins, and the basically the next levels of spacecrafts, I guess, if you will. The one from Israel, one of the parts of the reason they're trying to blow up Israel right now is because they have made it public that there is Gen 6 crafts right now. And I would like to reiterate that is likely what happened in Nashville in Christmas a few years ago. I highly doubt that was an RV because the street wouldn't be there. But I digress.
Well,
that video will explain how the ship itself will mind control anything and anyone. They say themselves how the ship works. Just let the video talk for itself.
Oh,
but
yeah.
if that ship can make it'll trick your brain to make your optical spectrums of your abilities of your mind to recognize a signal to see what the ship is, and it'll be cloaked, but right in front of you. It'll send a signal to where your brain won't see it, but they could be 3 feet from you. Just play the video.
Well,
It'll tell you.
the video that you're talking.
One thing for me.
The video you're talking about is the way I make sure you're talking about the SpaceX UFO video to Israel, right? That is the video you're talking about.
But I believe so.
Right.
It's one of the last links that I sent to you. That's why I sent it back to you again. You said you'd already seen it. But
Yeah.
they will talk about that craft has the ability to mind control the populace.
Okay.
And that's why they're trying to blow up Israel right now.
That's why.
That's in Israel.
Okay. Now I know why you're wanting me to share that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does what that technology says last video.
All right. So it was
It's a
good
machine
seeing you.
that does. Yeah.
It's good to see everybody. After we shared that video, we'll probably end up like losing connection to the internet and shit.
This is open source information. It's nothing that's secret squirrely shit for the record. This
right.
is all searchable. This is not me giving out any kind of secret squirrel shit. But if you motherfucking bastards really want to drop a plane on my head, I'm standing right here in Southeast Tennessee. Don't show up in my house because I'll kill you.
I'm over here in the rubber city capital of the world. Everybody knows Akron, Ohio. All right, right on. Hey, yeah, man, hang on. Let me share this video with you.
Okay.
Again, this is SpaceX. You got to remember that Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk holds a national security grant. Elon Musk is also funded by the United States Pentagon.
Mm-hmm.
Just
how
letting
many
you know.
quantum computers does he have, including Google?
Well, dun. Brainiac, buckle up. Pay attention.
Elon Musk's secret UFO project has been revealed. He's created a flying machine that's as good as a UFO. The U.S. government plans to send it to Israel for testing. No one can beat this UFO technology. Hamas and Iran are terrified. The airplane was designed by top SpaceX engineers who worked on it for several years and spent hundreds of millions of dollars. It has an engine based on the engine that Musk uses to send his Falcons into space. This allows the new aircraft to fly at hypersonic speeds of Mach 6. That's 4,600 miles per hour, or 7,400 kilometers per hour. From New York to Los Angeles on such an airplane, you'll fly in half an hour, the time you spend on lunch. Musk's plane is also equipped with a powerful microwave system capable of destroying both cars and people. The plane is very difficult to detect because it has a complex camouflage that makes it look like a cloud. It also has another great feature. And now more about it. When Elon Musk came up with the radical idea of using hypersonic air transport in civil aviation in 2020, many experts laughed at him. They said that, first of all, there are no engines capable of providing an airplane with hypersonic speed for a long time. Even combat airplanes go supersonic for a short time, 30 to 40 minutes, when there's a combat engagement. Secondly, at such a speed, one should not forget about air resistance. Due to the friction created, the fuselage heats up a lot. Even in the nose of the famous Concorde in Tu-144 was a temperature of more than 100 degrees Celsius, heated the plane itself in flight so much that it lengthened by half a meter or a meter. The mats were folded especially so that after the stretching and subsequent compression of the airplane, the carpeting did not stand up lumpy. In the same 2020, the founder of aerospace company SpaceX wrote on social networks that the competitor to the F-35 should be an unmanned fighter drone, which will be controlled remotely, but its maneuverability will be improved by autonomous systems. The F-35 would have no chance of dealing with such an adversary. Given Musk's obsession with the idea of introducing artificial intelligence into all areas of human life, the idea that soon the skies will be fought exclusively by robots has caused a certain skepticism. The pilot of a modern jet fighter is one of the most complex professions, requiring years of training, impeccable reflexes, the ability to make instant decisions, and thousands of hours of honing skills. Given the imperfections of artificial intelligence technology, it's hard to believe that a robot can replace a flexible human mind here. After that, there were no publications or statements from Musk on the topic of hypersonic airplanes and unmanned fighter jets. 3 years passed, and another sensation from the restless creator of the PayPal payment system, Tesla car, reusable Falcon rockets, and Starlink internet broke out. It turned out that these 3 years, Musk has been secretly developing a hypersonic fighter jet from the Pentagon and the U.S. government. We won't believe that the U.S. government, with hundreds of FBI, CIA, and NSA agents, knew nothing about this development, but apparently officials believed the assurances of experts that such an airplane could not be built. They believed until the radars of the U.S. Army suddenly detected in the sky an obscure object flying at a staggering speed of 4,600 miles per hour. Fighter jets were immediately sent up to intercept it. The news reported it as a UFO interception. It had seemed that the U.S. authorities should have rejoiced. Their country has an airplane which neither China nor Russia has and probably won't have for a long time. But it's no secret that the Democrats in the White House do not digest Elon Musk for his support of Trump, whom the latter, as president, made his advisor, and for the caustic criticism of American policy that one of the richest men on the planet allows. So to admit that Musk, in record time, without spending a dime of public funds, created such a fantastic airplane is to add another bunch of points to Trump on the eve of the election. And that's why Elon Musk's next invention is probably the best kept secret in the United States right now. It could also be the gravedigger of Democrat power in the White House. Even the name of this airplane is unknown. For convenience, we'll call it the X05. X because its inventor loves that letter. He even renamed the Twitter he bought and named it with that letter. And recall that Musk named his first company created in 1999, X.com, and 05 because this is the 5th successful major project of this brilliant inventor. So what's known about the X05 today? The first is its staggering speed, 4,600 miles per hour. Recall that before that, the palm of leadership in speed was held by another American airplane, Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, which set a speed record of 3,529 kilometers per hour, or 2,193 miles per hour. This speed allowed the Blackbird to fear no air defenses. The anti-aircraft missiles available at the time simply could not keep up with such a swift bird. The Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird was the only airplane that could not be shot down during the Vietnam War. At the same time, while flying at maximum speed, the leading edges of the airplane structure heated up to 400 degrees Celsius. I wonder to what speed is heated X-05, which has a speed of 1.5 times more, 4,600 miles per hour. This speed makes Musk's plane invulnerable to modern air defense systems, just as the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird once was. Recall that now the most modern American fighters, F-22 and F-35, have a top speed of 1,830 kilometers per hour or 1,200 miles per hour. Second, the X-05 has a rocket space engine. Undoubtedly, it was finalized for this aircraft. But the fact remains the X-05 has a space engine. But the space engine is not only a tremendous speed, but also a tremendous height of flight. Musk's plane can climb to a staggering 105,000 feet or 32 kilometers. The Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird could only go up to 25 kilometers. And don't forget that the Blackbird was a reconnaissance plane, so it had no armament. The X-05 is a full-fledged fighter. By the way, what's it armed with? Here, too, everything is unusual. As a weapon, the aircraft has a powerful microwave emitter emitting millimeter electromagnetic waves. Approximately, such waves heat food in your microwave. They're emitted by the magnetron in the microwave, so Musk's fighter jet will fry his opponents. It's known that such weapons are being developed by the Pentagon. An active denial system, or abbreviated ADS, one of several weapons developed under the Weapons of Controlled Effects program, is an installation that emits electromagnetic oscillations in the range of millimeter waves with a frequency of about 95 gigahertz, which has a short-term shock effect on people. The principle of action is based on the fact that when the beam hits a person, 83% of the energy of this radiation is absorbed by the upper layer of the skin. The effect produced by this beam is called immediate and highly motivated rescue behavior. The developers called it the goodbye effect. But microwave has a much greater effect on machinery than on people and animals. YouTube is full of clips that show even 10 meters away from the magnetron from a weak microwave in 800 watts, the technique gave strong failures. The TV and music center made a terrible growling sound, cell phone lost the network, and now imagine that on the enemy fighter will be a directed electromagnetic wave with a power of 800 watts and dozens and maybe hundreds of kilowatts. After all, a modern airplane is in fact a multi-ton flying electronics, without which it becomes just a piece of metal and plastic. But do we not think that the X-05 will be armed with only a microwave emitter? We're sure that without good old-fashioned missiles, still cannot do without. However, we don't think that they will be old.
Gotcha.
Recall that in December 2022, the United States successfully tested hypersonic airborne missile AGM-183A Arrow. Arrow stands for Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon. During the test flight, the hypersonic missile exceeded the speed of sound by more than 5 times, fully executed the flight plan, and self-destructed. According to preliminary assessments, the test was a complete success. So as they say to the hypersonic fighter, hypersonic missiles. Of course, the X-05 aircraft used stealth technology, which makes it invisible to radar. But not only that, the SpaceX engineers have developed a unique coating that makes the plane invisible not only on the radio, but also in the optical range. It's like an invisibility cloak, which used to be only in fairy tales. However, the development of such coatings has already been reported. For example, the Canadian company Hyperstealth Biotechnology from Vancouver has developed and patented a thin material that provides, in its words, quantum invisibility. The plastic-like material has microscopic lenses. Rays of light hitting them are scattered and washed away, and anything within a certain distance behind the material becomes indistinguishable. The new kind of plastic not only bends rays in the visible spectrum, but also in ultraviolet and infrared light. Could Musk's engineers have done something similar? But their task was 100 times more difficult. Don't forget about the enormous temperature, which must withstand such a coating during a flight. We're sure that the X-05 will be unmanned. We don't forget about the words of Elon Musk on this subject, said in 2020. Control will be either remote control using artificial intelligence, or full control will be entrusted to artificial intelligence. Recall that in April this year, Elon Musk founded a company that'll work in the field of artificial intelligence and compete with the company OpenAI, which created ChatGPT. And of course, he named it XAI. So far, this is all that's more or less known about Lion Max's hypersonic fighter jet, which we've conveniently named X-05. But what about its transfer to Israel for testing in real combat conditions? So far, these are our only assumptions, but they're based on common sense and some information. It's known that during conflicts, countries are trying to test new weapons during real combat operations to identify all their shortcomings and eliminate them. This is what happened during the Russian-Ukrainian War, when the same Germany delivered to Ukraine its newest air defense system, Iris-T, which is not even in the Bundeswehr yet. It's probably what's happening in the current Arab-Israeli war as well. It's known, for example, that Israel is using its new secret so-called sponge bombs against Hamas tunnels. These bombs release foam that quickly spreads and hardens, blocking the tunnels and creating a barrier for Hamas terrorists that will greatly complicate their ability to conduct ambushes. It's noted that there was previously an exercise using these munitions at the Salem base. Before that, the IDF showed the first use of Steel Sting mortar shells. This type of weapon was first used by commando fighters of the Magellan unit during military operations against the Hamas terrorist group on a launch pad used for rocket attacks on Israel. So why not test Musk's airplane as well? But of course, we don't know that today. But in any case, America has a lot to be proud of. It has no equal in the field of aviation and space. On this optimistic note, we'll end today's story about a fantastic fighter jet that has become a reality.
Well, there you got it, brainiacs. May as well close that one out, right? Because we definitely don't want to get the stream completely blown out of the water. Anyway, let's still go back and see if we got Larry here. Got Larry. Got everybody. All right. So that was that. Mr. Larry Hawkins, do we got you back? Did I unmute you? There you go. Let me unmute you. Hang on a second, bro. There you are. There he is. Hello. All right. So you want to...
Hello.
Have the lambs stopped crying, Clarice?
You know, they made the movie Deliverance down here where I live.
Somewhere off in a distance, you see a pale little white fat guy squealing like a pig. All right. Damn it. All right. You wanted me to share that video with everybody, linking it to Spooky Action at Distance. Why?
Those quantum entanglement and the abilities of those technologies. If you figure that's just one plate in the pantry of toys. If they're putting that out in the public, imagine what they're not telling you. And that chances are that's probably 50, 100-year-old technology realistically. So,
boom.
But what it does is it proves that there's an ability for these so-called elitist platforms to do the right thing. But for some reason, they don't bother fixing the problems of the world when they know they can identify you from the biomechanical geomancy spectrums of your fart from space. That's just one of the technologies. Now, we can sit here for hours and hours talking about, nerdy stuff, which I like personally, but this is just one thing. But what that does is it tells you that there's actually equipment, fully functional equipment out here that's capable of doing what those videos have said. Okay. Now, if you figure what some of these other devices can do, like the Hadron Colliders creating new aspects of the periodic table, what a lot of this has to do with is the density fluctuations of the quantum entanglement spectrums and things of a lot of these fields of energies. Remember me telling you all the birds don't really fly, the fish don't really swim, they just oscillate through their environment. That's how a salmon can jump up a series of drops of water and make its way back up to wherever, Alaska or something. That epigenetic it has an entanglement within its environment. It is part of the environment, right? We are the air we breathe, therefore we are part of the trees. Trees are part of the soil, et cetera, et cetera. There's the oscillation factors. There's another video that's in there, one of those last things that ties this last bit of things together. That they have figured out, like with magnetic anomaly detection platforms, life detection systems, and satellites that can scan with deep underground neutrino experimentation platforms. They've got a satellite in the fucking sky now that its entire job is to map out the magnetic anomaly spectrums of the subatomic particulate of water everywhere. Not here,
Right.
everywhere.
Right.
All water everywhere is being mapped by the satellite. So if we have criminal platforms still happening while they have these cool fucking toys to run around and play fucking Richie Rich fucking games with, living their own little Batman life, it infuriates me. Because if they're doing all this, to me, and they could fix problems of violations of people, you know, the Nashville thing is example. That sound that you heard of the getaway, there's a bomb, ba 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 ba. You know the thing in Nashville when the place blew up. The AT&T was a quantum computer hive mind.
Right.
The governor of Tennessee actually signed an executive order giving a company called CGI Corporation, which is a quantum computer hive mind, authorization to map all things in Tennessee. I don't remember anybody asking me if I thought that was okay. So it sounds like Snowden needs an award. I'm just saying. Thinking Assange needs an award.
Or a pat on the back, right?
Something. Just saying. But there's the people that show you the shit on the TV, they're the same motherfuckers running this bullshit. The Operation Mockingbird. It's the same fucking politicians that Kathy O'Brien talks about.
And
these people know how to fix the problems, but they don't, which makes them the problem.
Now you know why. Now you know why, and really, and I know that they're watching. I'm glad. This is why I don't like, and I will not push the propaganda bullshit here. There are other things that we need to focus on, worry about, than feeding that negative, that mocking narrative, that God, I say the negative agenda. Fuck that. There's no need to do that. We already know that it exists. We already know that it's a problem. We already know that those who are not fixing the problem is a problem. So now what?
That makes those platforms a violation of human rights against society of using experimentation platforms upon a society without consent, which would technically mean, as an example, since the United States still has 25% of the world's incarceration population and 4% of the world's population, and that is run by private prison unions and private police unions, et cetera, I don't think that there's really much of any freedom around here. I'd like somebody, you know, this bus behind me right here, speaking of, this is the Indica bus, right? This is the bus I drove around. It glows in the dark, actually. You can draw on it with your fingertips. It's kind of badass. But anyway, I drove around the country, and one of the things that I would say to people when I talk to them at all these rallies and things, I'm just an equal rights activist, you know. I just want people to understand what's going on around them. But a part of what I did was I put a proposition on the table of people that I met that say that they're fighting for freedom. I had said in my entire time of touring in this bus of people that I met, I said, you show me someone who's really free, thoroughly free, and stand them in front of me, and I will give you this fucking bus and walk home. I still got the bus.
Larry, going back to what we're talking about, the illusion of I want to talk about this, the illusion of free will. Okay,
it's all manipulated.
The movie we've all seen, the majority of us have all seen RoboCop, right? Mm-hmm. RoboCop. You know, I love technology, bro. I love technology. There was a key statement when watching what we presented to everybody tonight. There's a key statement in the movie that was just now referenced, and it is the doctor talking to the investors of the RoboCop. Right? It's called Omni Corp or OC, Omni Corporation, that built RoboCop. And
that's one of the names of the viruses of the cooties, by the way.
Bing. Okay.
The omnivirus.
Keep that in mind. There's two, but number one, there's a little statement that
060606.
The doctor told the investor, well, how does he do this and not have emotion or any feeling in doing what he's doing? And the doctor clearly told the guy is because we removed the option of cognitive static choice. We removed that connection. It tells you in the movie.
Gave the stimulation of it. Yeah.
So,
it simulated the option of you were controlling the machine, but that was actually the machine sending the algorithms of energy into the brain to get it to function, to think it's doing it voluntarily. Kind of like everybody on the planet right now.
You pointed out off air with me, we were talking, you pointed out, and everybody knows what's referred to as spontaneous combustion.
Spontaneous human combustion formulas?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember back in the, I think it was somewhere back in the 80s, it was public TV, public television back in the 80s where someone, a news channel literally published, this was national, where somebody walked through a mall or walked through somewhere and spontaneously human combusted. Do you remember this?
I've not seen, but well, I'll tell you, I'm familiar with it, but there's been a lot of cases of people just, I guess if you happen to be in the right, like mountains, have a certain frequency at the tips of the mountains, it's a sort of a magnetic anomaly field, and I guess if you can get in the right frequency and it happens to oscillate. Basically, if you map through the Human Genome Projects, is basically what they've been doing. If you could find the right cellular oscillation factors of all things, which is not hard to look up, every single thing has an individual identifying oscillation factor to each cell of everything. But if you could find out a formula to calibrate into that, it's sort of like the Hutchinson effect. There's a lot of doctors actually, Rife, I think his name's Dr. Rife, where he had identified like cancer cells and caused them to spontaneously unalive themselves at a subatomic spectrum because they could identify that specific, it's the geomancy of the subatomic spectrums, like down to the singularity of each platform. If you can identify that, then you can delete that. If you look into that, I sent you another link. Speaking of, it's hard to go through all of this because it's so much information and such. But if you throw in that link about the university in Florida, it's actually just one group of professors, and they can do everything from med beds to identifying every subatomic spectrum of a photon. If you look up germ teleportation devices, matizing devices for sale, all of this stuff works in a specific way that it's designed. I can't see whatever you're.
It says James Roundtree says, I remember there seemed to be a rash of spontaneous combustions during the 70s and the 80s. He's right. This is absolutely right. What we're talking about is the benefactor that these may have been just tests. Because again, off air, Larry and I were talking about where we're at now, the present day. Okay, everybody understands and remotely can grasp onto what we refer to as the Montauk Project. Everybody knows about the Montauk Project, right?
Yeah, that actually ties into the history. The reason they called it the Montauk Project is because of the Montauk tribe, the shamanic tribe that was actually killed during the invasion. When 14 whatever it was, when the Columbus Rock stuff happened or whatever, but there was a tribe there that was actually called the Montauk tribe, and they were part of the aspects of the original Indian
on the island,
indigenous, that could see the ships. The regular people, if you look at that movie you were talking about, What the Bleep Do I Know, they actually talk about that shamanic gene, and if you figure all of these genes they're mapped remotely from space. Why don't we have clean water in Michigan for 30 years now? You know, why can't, if they can mine the rings of Saturn, why can't they get all the bad stuff out of the soil and the food and letting everybody suffer here? If we can terraform other planets, like with a Mars one, China one, colonization, or Opera Project Millennials, Project Moonshadow, we can colonize the multiverse. You know, Stephen Hawking could send artificial wombs and AI to Alpha Centauri for, you know, $60 million with Faceborg. You know, hey, why can't they fix the problems here? And you know they know everything about everybody.
Well, of course,
Right?
bro. They know when you fart.
Everything.
They know what it smells like. They can examine the ions. Yes, bro. Yes.
Yeah, your next levels of cell phones will have a quantum assistant in it, because the next aspects of the industry is off. Just it's way. Look at 2045 initiative, and that'll give you an idea. The Human Genome Projects and all that's been going on. These mind mapping and consciousness transfer technologies. You know me, I can do this for days, dude.
I know.
But if they're able to do it, why are they letting everybody suffer and be violated? That's what irritates the everlasting shit out of me.
Because
they don't care.
Because that goes back to you. You know Percy. Percy knows you. You guys. We remember having a conversation with the both of you. You guys could be in the same unit and never even fucking knew, because you were so compartmentalized. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Well, the right hand, they want it like that.
Actually, Percy and I don't know, I don't necessarily want to, throw his stuff out there, but I think it's common information that we were actually recruited from the same place in Chicago.
I remember you saying that.
We were technically damn near the same battalion. He was actually a couple of years before me. So it's likely that we were around each other. But you could be in the same place over there, and it's mission oriented, I guess. But you could have entire lifetimes right next to each other.
But Larry, this is
I'd have a different.
What I'm saying is real. They can here. I released a meme not even 2 days ago, a day ago. It says the program. Okay, the program. A perfect name for the Department of Defense to name the reverse engineering program. Anybody on the internet that goes to Google, types, one of the most powerful search engines in the world, and types Project the Program. Are you shitting me? Unless you really, really, really know how to dig, you will find nothing on the program because of the project name. They've got the perfect name to reverse engineer internal, external, extraterrestrial craft. The shit that we've watched Elon Musk build, dude, that technology, that knowledge, it had to have came from somewhere.
Well, it's kind of like how Tesla and Einstein and all the brain greats from the back in the day. I guess I don't know. They have a way of calculating things different. Like I used to be able to do math in my head. I actually was failed twice in school, even though I got the answers right, and I passed the fucking grades. I wouldn't write down the work. I can't do that anymore, obviously, but some people just think different. I don't know, but the thing about all this stuff is the environment is doing the thinking for everyone now. They have integrated the biomechanics and such. Like your next levels of phones are going to be environmentally recognizing it. Like if you have a heart attack or fall over, your phone's going to know it, and it'll automatically be like Starlink or something. And it's going to be like your pocket EMT. I mean, if you get into a car accident, it's going to know. It's going to call for you. It will know if you're unconscious. It's going to have environment recognition software, and all that's tied into quantum entanglement. If the public is knowing about this stuff, then it's probably already 500 years old.
Sure.
Or we wouldn't know about it. We wouldn't know shit about it.
That's true.
But the public is the ones paying for it. You know, they can call it like, oh, it's my own money. After you've embezzled society for 17 generations, maybe. You know, not you, but you know what I mean.
Right.
The Montauk project, getting back into that, was what they were trying to do was to map the epigenetic lineage of the time displacement of consciousness through the fields of energy. You remember telling you a while back that there's a camera lens you can put on just an average camera, and you can see something's shadow of where it's been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like a magnetic anomaly field. And if you remember us talking a while back, there was a lineage between the missing 411 and magnetic anomaly sparks when trauma happens to someone, and it leaves a signal, right? So that signal, like a pheromone, is viewable, observable with some of these technologies that are available. Kind of like when you had the Nashville shooting, and then the sky started saying, "Everyone get out of the area. There's a BOMB. Everyone get out of the area. There's a BOMB." And then the fucking AT&T building, which was a quantum computer hub, blew up. Now there's a video of that actually blowing up, and you could see that there was a craft over one of the explosions, and the fire oscillated around what looks like Elon's little ship there. So in my perspective, these Gen 6 through 10 crafts have time displacement technologies with them. They have consciousness technologies shit with them. And they've got all ties to all the other equipment on top of quantum entanglement. Now, what those videos were telling you is once you observe something, then you can process how the picture goes. What we're doing right now with these conversations is we are observing what the fuck is going on around us. Once we start understanding and putting these pieces together, we are the system. The system still needs our consciousness. It still needs us to be in the game, and there's not a game. You know what I mean? So we can still be a part of this thing, but the thing is becoming a thing because the thing's already been the thing. If that makes sense. But it's not a thing yet. It's the Schrodinger's cat scenario. But the factors of all these is it's all already mapped. The question is, if the thing's already mapped out, why is the fucking video still going the way it's going?
Right. No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, if that kind of makes sense.
Well,
it's just we're trying to get everybody to kind of wake up, but this is like I was saying before. It's hard to know you have a chemical imbalance until somebody goes, "Hey, think, you know, look over there. Their ship's coming."
Well,
by the way, I was telling you about that time displacement. That's actually mapped into a genetic gene. They can identify the specific gene of time displacement, like the Poseidon gene we were talking about a long time ago. The Poseidon gene.
Yes.
There is like in the movie, even the Assassin's Creed. The basis of that is mapping the epigenetic of anger. So, if you get the idea, that if they're teasing you with these movies, throwing it in your face.
Sure.
Look at the movie The Fly. The movie The Fly is about time displacement and a fly being a chimera platform with human beings. If you look up, there's tens of thousands of patents flowing regularly through the patent administration, trying to get authority to have chimera between humans and oceanic stem cells. So if there's all these platforms of trying to make people mutant fish, but I don't remember anybody being asked if they wanted to be mutant fish, you might have a reason of why people are having heart attacks all of a sudden because of shellfish toxicity and these so-called cootie shots they're making everybody take.
Tammy got a really good question. I got to stop you for a second. Okay. And she asks, I'm going to go through the chat for a minute. Tammy Bottom says, so if all of this is going on and we've got some people reacting to it and some people acclimating to it. So her question is, so why are some of the people in our world acclimating to what's going on?
Because
question.
it's sort of like how the X-Men happened.
How do you boil a lobster? You throw it in there? You
Chaos.
do. A frog. You've heard that
Chaos
theory?
brings evolution. Yeah.
Okay, right. Chaos will bring calm. But you boil a frog, right? Slowly. It don't even know it's being boiled.
Yeah. Well, again, if you go back into that other video, we got, like, I think one more video I want you to throw in there, and that's the one about the moon. It's one of the last links that I was sending to you. That's the one that talks about how the oscillations of your subatomic spectrums actually matches the lunar path of how the moon oscillates around the planet, and it pulls the water. The oscillation of the water itself in the oceans, it works with the lineage of the core of the planet. The planet and people have the same frequencies, right?
Okay.
So if the moon is controlling the planet like that, you have to presume that you have a quantum entanglement with that field theory, that string theory of lineage of locking our toes to the planet as our rabbit turd flies through the abyss at 735 light years an hour in a Fibonacci spiral of a perfect moon flowing with us with all this stuff in space, and somehow the constellation. It has a tidal lock, which means we have a quantum entanglement with that that biological geomancy of your X-point field, your shadow, tidally locking you into a cognitive static relationship to your environment. You do carry your energies with your oil, your aura, all of that, but it's all manipulatable. As you've seen in those crafts, they can tell you what to think. If you're a bad boy, they'll punish you with Savannah syndrome or Havana syndrome.
Larry,
direct energy weaponry.
This is it, right?
What?
Humans are not from Earth. Is that that one, right?
Yeah.
Because
that will explain the oscillation factors that I'm trying to talk about.
That's my conclusion.
The shadow of your cell individually is a mini black hole. Okay. You have a quantum lock with the black hole of every cell that is the shadow of your body, called the ghost particle. The ghost particle is the non-physical side of a parasitic dark body entity called black body energy that has a X point on it, where the ghost particle, the Higgs boson, matter, water, and a singularity of consciousness becomes one. That is the X point. And there is a network, a grid pattern throughout the multiverse with time displacement aspects and multiverses of thoughts that you could have. Your thoughts and your dreams have a place. It's a thing, but it's in your head. See what I'm saying? So if you play that movie, that will explain how all these platforms function like the moon. The moon seems to be the engine that is tidally locked with the pyramids. The pyramids are in ley lines, although this place is expanded with all the rabbit turds that's made this place, the water and such, oscillating. Somehow everything still stays in place because of the moon. The moon rang like a bell for 8 hours or whatever the hell it was. Remember?
Yeah, whenever they
play that
dropped the
video and that. Yeah, play that video because I think it's going to kick me out again in a minute anyway.
It will. Look,
that'll wrap it up for me.
And on that note, Larry, it's good having you here. I'm gonna share the video, and then you know what? They can digest this.
Yeah. Throw that moon thing in there, and you're what the bleep do I know? And I'm gonna call it a night. How about that?
All right, buddy. Anything positive?
I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here, and I'll jump back in I'll jump in the crowd while you're doing your thing. About that?
All right. Anything? Say something positive to everybody. Like, come on.
The basis of all this, like we have said, is you have your own journey, but you have to remember, you can be a piece of shit if you want to, but it's if you're doing piece of shit to other shit, then that makes you wrong. So don't be a piece of shit. Smoke weed every day. Nighty night. Right. I love you guys. Take care.
Take it easy, man. All right. Everybody buckle up because we got one more thing coming at you, and then after that it is all you. We want you to digest what we've shared with you tonight. again, don't think that you are alone in this journey. Don't think that you are alone in this world, meaning, trying to figure it all out on your own, because you're absolutely positively not. So with that being said, Brainiac, I'm trying to close Larry's screen here, because you guys just heard him say, "Oh,
Bye, Felicia."
Bye, Felicia. All right, where are we at? Right here. Shares this, and we're gonna go from there to right here.
It's my conclusion over many years that reincarnation is a trap. It's not that it doesn't exist, although I don't think it's quite the same as it's explained. It's a bit more subtle, maybe, but I do think it's a trap.
The recycling of souls, reincarnation, is the machinery of this universe.
John Lear, son of Learjet inventor Bill Lear, flew his first flight at age 14. He became a stunt pilot, a contract pilot for the CIA, and set multiple aviation records. But John Lear's most known for his theories about the alien presence on Earth. He's also exposed a lot of information about the cube-shaped soul catcher on the moon.
The soul catcher is I think is the 6 mile high tower in the middle of Sinus Medai, right in the middle of the center of the moon as you look at the moon. And the famous photo that Richard found, Lunar Orbiter 384M, shows that huge tower, and he also has 2 other photographs that show that tower. I think that tower is what I call the soul catcher. When you die, your soul goes to the soul catcher.
But the moon isn't the only place these soul catchers exist.
There are several soul transmission stations, both on Earth and on the moon, and depending on where you're going in your next lifetime is which transmission station takes over.
When you couple John Lear's belief in the soul catcher with David Icke's theory that we're stuck in an endless loop of reincarnation, an unsettling reality emerges that our only purpose is to serve as food for our alien jailers. And what's even more upsetting is that negative emotions are really what they crave. Supporters of the reptilian humanoid theory say that when there's a global event that affects millions of people, like a war or major conflict, it's our jailers at work.
It might explain why Cro-Magnon Homo sapiens sapien is so violent. Why are we always in states of war? Why are we competing and always challenged by murder and violence?
I really don't like the idea that we're not in control of our lives. And I really hate the idea that we're not in control of our death. So my mind just rejects the idea altogether. But then I found this.
What the is that?
That is the soul cube on the moon.
Leaping lizards! See what I did there?
This photo was taken December 6, 2021 by the Chinese-made lunar rover Yutu-2 while exploring the far side of the moon. A cube-shaped object is clearly seen 80 meters from the Von Karman crater. And for some reason, the China National Space Administration labeled this object Mystery Hut. And this only lends credence to the idea that the moon is a sort of observatory with a soul-harvesting machine. There's even more evidence that Earth is actually what some call a prison planet. In his book, Humans Are Not From Earth, Dr. Ellis Silver contends that humans are actually from another planet. They were brought here thousands of years ago and mated with Neanderthals. The hybrid species is us.
My thesis proposes that mankind did not evolve from native Earth organisms, but evolved elsewhere and was transported to Earth between 60,000 and 200,000 years ago. Mankind is supposedly the most highly developed species on the planet, yet is surprisingly unsuited and ill-equipped for Earth's environment.
The idea that extraterrestrials played a role in human history is also known as intervention theory. Dr. Silver argues that if humans actually evolved on Earth, we'd be much more comfortable with the environment. For example, humans are really the only animals that are susceptible to sunburn. Fish, reptiles, birds, all have natural ultraviolet protection in their scales and feathers. Whales and dolphins have special skin cells that repair DNA damaged by UV radiation. Any mammal with fur is protected from ultraviolet rays, including apes. If we evolved from apes, why did we lose our hair? Evolution is supposed to make us stronger, not weaker.
Not true for your Uncle Vito.
That's true. He's pretty hairy.
Pretty hairy. Ugh, I bet that guy can open a banana with his feet.
Dr. Silver points out that human babies are basically helpless at birth. They require constant attention for years or they'll die. Yes, some species of animals require parental care for a time after birth, but there are plenty of species that require none. Insects, fish, and most reptiles are born completely self-sufficient. Some land mammals are born standing up. Some birds are born with their eyes open and able to find food on their own. No other animal on the planet is as helpless as we are at birth. Silver claims the reason so many people have bad backs is that we evolved on a planet with less gravity. That's why as we age, our knees and hips give out. We're not designed to be so heavy. We're also prone to chronic illness more than other mammals. So why were we brought here in the first place? Well, Silver has a few ideas. One is that humans were brought to Earth as a natural predator to wipe out other species. Now, if that's true, it worked. At one time, there were several different hominid species living on Earth at the same time. As recently as just 40,000 years ago, Neanderthals, Denisovans, and at least one other species coexisted with each other for several 100,000 years. Then modern man arrived, and suddenly all other species were gone. But Dr. Silver has another theory that tracks with a lot of what we've discussed today, that humans were removed from our natural environment because we were violent, we were destructive, and we overconsumed natural resources.
Well, that hasn't changed.
The theory said that the aliens erased our memories so we'd have no recollection of the civilizations and technologies we left behind. Then they dropped us off on Earth and left us to our own devices. They watched us for a while to see how we developed, and eventually they left. All the UFO activity we're seeing now could be our creators coming to check on their creation. Maybe they're checking to see if we've evolved past our violent tendencies. Maybe we're finally ready to be released from our prison and reintegrate into galactic society. If that's really why they're here, then unfortunately for us, our parole, it's going to be denied.
Berniak, no doubt about it. I do believe tonight was a pretty in-depth discussion. Myself and Larry, we love talking to you guys deeply. Love sharing as much as we possibly can with you to open you up. Get your mind going, no doubt. My friends, I absolutely got to share with you that if you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast, please consider subscribing to the broadcast. It helps us every way to pay the expenses of the show. This show is 100% paid for by you. And I am truly grateful for every subscriber that we've got. You can also or go make your way over to matrixminds.us and smash the donation button. Berniak, again, spooky action at a distance. That right there, my friends, is just the beginning. Hope you guys take care of yourselves, take care of one another. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch you here on Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock West Coast 8 time. Good night, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Peace out. We're out of here, guys.
We're in the Matrix. We're in the Matrix.
Yeah. Let's do this. One of the fastest growing talk shows on the internet. Your show, welcome aboard the Matrix Minds. One of the most controversial conspiratorial shows on the web, the Matrix Minds. And that's right. Buckle up, everybody. Let's go. Paranormal, huh? Conspiracy, huh? Ufology, hidden Egyptology, and anything and everything we can get our hands on. Let's go.
take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing. Stay in Wonderland. All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing. Stay in Wonderland. All I'm offering is the truth.
Hey everybody, Austin here with Colorado Custom Game Calls. Are you looking for a game call for your upcoming season? Are you looking for something unique? Are you looking for a gift for the hunter in your life? Well, look no further, we got you covered. At Colorado Custom Game Calls, you get to put your own twist on these calls. Whether it's waterfowl hunting, big game hunting, predator, or turkey, we got you covered. So be sure to hit us up on our Facebook and Instagram or on the web at ColoradoCustomGameCalls.com.
What is up, all my beautiful and gorgeous souls? I am Michelle Espinosa, otherwise known as the Shaman, through the Matrix Mind Media. So tell me, how many times have you wished that you had that special power of prediction? You know, to know what was going to happen before it actually happened and took place. To have some power and control over that situation before things came flying at you out of left field. The thing is, you actually can have that power. You can be aware of what's coming. Tune in to Astrology TV with me for Breaking the Cage. Every Sunday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Matrix Mind Media. And I will go through the astrology and help put you on the right course and get you back in control of your own life. Love you guys.
This CBD fluid is a whole flower fluid extracted from the cannabis flower. We don't use any heat, butane, or chemicals when we extract, so we get all of the components of the plant. All the CBD, CBG, CBA, all the terpenes, all the flavonoids. This allows our body to absorb at 60 to 90% rather than the average of 6 to 10% absorption you would get with a CBD oil. Because our bodies are made up of mostly water and this is a fluid, it's highly absorbable so that you're getting 500% more nutraceuticals per dose. We also have this available in our CBD spray as well as a muscle rub with all kinds of botanicals. You're going to absolutely love it.
Check it out, Brainiacs. MatrixMinds.live/CBD. The CBD I use. Feel free again. Feel alive again. And now back to the show.